Hello.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop. Just please.
Yo, like, honestly, we don't even need an hour long podcast. Who even has the attention span these days for hour-long podcasts? Do you guys even listen to all of it? Like, we don't know. Like, comment below if you actually listen to all of it. Who knows? Like, the only comment we get is, like, Logan Fake 101.
Yeah, at least she's like a lover and not a hater. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Logan, if you're actually real watching this, be like, hey, what's up? Instead of just commenting, want to be friends with, like, a second after we post our video, he's like, I love it, want to be friends. We're like, bro, you didn't watch it all, we know. Bro.
You really don't love us.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I love the love. We're not going to delete your comment, but...
That's true. That's really funny. Well, welcome to, like, the Venus retrograde, which is, like, hitting me and Gabby pretty fucking hard.
Bro, we don't even know what this means. Like, I just woke up yesterday and I was like, what the fuck is in the air right now? I was like, Anna, look at what is up with your calendar. I'm like, please tell me this right now because I don't know what's going on with my vibes. Like, I just felt tense. I just felt claustrophobic in, like, regular space. I'm like, what is going on?
Heavy.
It was just like heavy, and I don't know.
I just want to like chill out and just not think, not do. Like, it seems very all overwhelming. I don't know. It's just Venus in retrograde. It's rough. Any retrograde is rough. So, quote unquote, in the astrology world. So.
Yeah, I didn't even know
that. If you needed someone to blame it on, you can blame it on Venus retrograde.
Bro, like, we didn't even know what that means. And they were like, oh, May 13th. Venus retrograde in Gemini. We're like, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. Like, okay. Like, okay, good to know. Like, word.
Let's simplify these terms for me. But let's try to simplify them.
Yeah, right? So... Anna Googled it, and she's like, this is it. And it's like literally the straight first answer from Google. So we're like, we don't know.
I screenshotted it. I was like, what does Venus in retrograde mean? And screenshotted it, sent it to Gabby. And like,
yeah, like,
this is nowhere. Who knows what this means? But a retrograde comes from the Latin word retrogradus, as I pronounce it, which means backward step. So I guess the nature of whatever planet is in retrograde is going backwards. So it's like everything is kind of negating what it is. Not negating, but, you know, just putting on it or making that part of your life extra heavy.
It feels like I always go backwards every time I meet. And by the way, all the vocals are done by my voice. Bro, we're just shooting the shits. Like, we don't even know what's up right now. But so yeah, I guess like retrograde, like Anna said, is backwards. And Venus, like, I just know this from my pocket astrologer, my handy pocket astrologer from 2019, a little outdated over here. This tells me it's a Libra. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Bro, so I guess Venus stands for, like, the Roman goddess of beauty. It's associated with power of love, the power of attraction and cohesion, and the power of quiet, gentle persuasion. I am not any of that right now. It stimulates the desire to be sociable. Like me, like even Anna and me, like talk to each other. I'm like, bro, I can't even talk on the phone, bro. Like, I don't want to talk anymore. Yeah, like, I can't. I'm sorry. Like yesterday, I'm just like, no.
Actually, before this podcast started, like I was just like delaying the time to see you. I was like, just 5 more minutes. Like, just 5 more minutes. Like, it'll be fine. Like, I was sitting outside, like soaking the sun. I was like, just like breathe in. You can interact with Gabby right now. And yeah, we made it. It's a big push for us.
Yeah, like honestly, go look up what Venus means. Let's not read this. I'm like, are we gonna get like copyright for me reading straight off of these little pocket astrologers? Okay, this is by Jim Maynard. Okay, Jim Maynard. Like, yo, look it up.
I wonder what he's feeling.
Yeah. Yo, he stopped it. 2020, he stopped it. He's like, oh my God, I know too much. He's like, I know too much. I know something's gonna happen. I can't. He discontinued these, bro. Like, is Jim Maynard okay? Jim, are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah.
Sponsor your pocket astrologer. We'll help you if you want. Yeah, we're just gonna shoot the shits because I think we have really high expectations for ourselves because we are accustomed to that style, the scheduling, due to school. You know what I mean? We need to be productive. We need to be doing these things. So, like, when we say, let's record on a Wednesday at 10 a.m., we're like, oh, shit. Like, we had that anxiety again from school. Even though we're like, wait, we just made up that time. We just said 10 o'clock Wednesday and just put it out there. Yes, you need to be organized. You need a schedule. But we just, yeah, I definitely feel that. And then it's like this other part of my mind is trying to motivate me and trying to get me on the schedule. It's like, don't worry about that other part, Gabby. You're feeling sad. Let's get it. Come on. Just like, you just roll it over. Don't worry. Those emotions, don't let these stupid emotions what are the cause of them? That's the worst. When you're sad and you don't even know what the cause of your sadness is.
Exactly.
That's the worst.
But then you have to remind yourself, like, exactly like I did right before we filmed today. Like, I was like, all right, you got to get into it. Like, just chill out, be fresh. Like, it'll be fine. And I think we don't discuss that enough. Discuss, like, knowing your boundaries, your limits, but pushing through them and ensuring that you're doing it in a healthy manner.
No, yeah, I definitely get that, Anna.
Yeah. I hope you all get it too. I hope everyone really feels me right now.
Well, so yeah, I guess I'll share what I did to feel better. In the beginning of the day, I couldn't even talk to Anna. I was like, bro, like I had just so much. I felt like I had so much bubbling inside of me that I couldn't even speak normal words. So I just was like in solitude and just letting myself feel what I wanted to feel and what I even didn't want to feel. I just let myself feel. I let myself think, reflect, let it out, cry, like listen, like cry and like let out all those weird feelings. And I was dancing like Kid Cudi after, within like 2 or 3 hours. You have to let yourself feel the feelings, because if you just put them away, all right, let's put it in the back of the brain for later, it's gonna like blow up. You don't want to blow up. That's what volcanoes. Why do you think volcanoes erupt? Science of volcanoes.
The emotion of volcanoes, yeah.
Bro, if like volcanoes consistently erupt, it wouldn't be like killing all the town. So I don't even know the history of volcanoes. I shouldn't be telling people this stuff. But I guess it's just an analogy, right? Volcanoes, it takes like, it's like, that volcano hasn't erupted in thousands of years. We'll see when it next erupts, And it's because it's holding in all the goo. It's holding it all in.
Yeah.
And that's what I think with crying. Well, this is what I noticed when I went to like my best friend's wake. I was just like, bro, like I didn't wear makeup. Like, let me embrace my crying. I'm gonna be crying a lot anyway. I'm like, whoa, like this is like a baptism for my face. Like I'm like, this is like salt water like on my face. My eyelashes are like nice and black from like the wetness of my tears. I'm like, wow, like I'm lit right now. Like I'm like, I have like my under eyes are just like puffed a little bit. I'm like,
no, like bright red, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like cheeky bones, like really like red cheeky bones. I'm like, wow, like I'm like rubbing in my tears. I'm like moisturizing with them. I'm scared of those people that tell me, they're like, I haven't cried in like 2 years. I'm like, I'm scared of those people. Like they think they're like giving me this powerful idea. Like, oh, I haven't done that in 2 years. I'm like, bro, please do. Like, I'm trying, like, when they tell me that, I'm like, bro, like, can I make you cry? Like,
yeah.
Because then I feel bad for the next time you cry. It's going to be like when you're like, that's the worst, bro.
Well, I haven't had that one in a while, but
yeah. Because I cry every day, so it's not like...
Yeah, it comes very rarely.
And then when I say I cry every day, it's like me thinking about like the grandpa. I saw grandpa taking out his mail, and he dropped a mail, and it just like so slow motion, and I'm like, I gotta take a picture of this guy, you know, I'm like, I gotta, and it's like me crying, and I'm like, bro, like looking at him from the corner, you know, it's like me crying about like things like that, not like my life.
This morning, I was just so sad. I was like, it's so beautiful. Like my heart hurts. Like I'm in so much like aching pain. Like I'm so happy it's nice out. I can't wait to be outside later.
Yeah, no, that's what I look forward to in my day, my outside.
By a window, or like buy whatever the most natural element you can find in your nearby radius. I think it's really grateful to have that. Yeah. What was an artist you were listening to this morning?
Myself.
Really? Nice. What were you listening to?
I go through my photo booth and I just look at all the songs and music videos I did. So I have one where I'm holding my thesaurus, my pocket thesaurus, and I was singing whatever words. I like turned to a page and was just singing those words. So I'm like, where can I share this? Like, this is good content. Like, should I make that as like word of the week footage this week? You know, just past self. Me and Anna love doing like past selves and incorporating that in our present. Archival. Yeah, very archival vibes according to one of our fans, which is much appreciated. Shout out. What were you listening to this morning? Anything?
I was listening to Galaxy 500, the great 70s band, but like it just, that music made me also sad this morning. Like I cried because of this band because it was so beautiful outside. And Galaxy 500 was playing, and it's the album On Fire. It's great. It was released in 1980. Actually, no, not a 70s album, 1989.
Oh, that's cool. That's like
okay, much more recent than I thought, but it's a great band. And I was just so sad and happy this morning while I was listening to it. So it made me feel better. I can't wait to listen to them afterwards.
Austin showed me this new band that he just reviewed. Shout out Strange Conversations, strange.convo.pod. Shout out to them. They're on Spotify, YouTube, hit it up. He showed me this really awesome album, and he's like, it's a combination of Ty Segall and the Beatles, he said. Morphing together. Wow. And I love this vibe so much. He said it's like a 60s music vibe. He said I'm a 60s music girl, I guess. I'm like,
you are.
I can't explain music. Because I explain it through my body emotions, and I just like let the music flow inside of me, and I'm just like, it's the Mother Stone, Caleb Laundrie Jones, the Mother Stone, and it's really recent. It's 2020 alternative music, and the beginning song sounds like the beginning of a circus in Paris, and I'm just like,
wow.
And I love it so much. So whenever I'm listening to music, I've done this ever since I was little, whatever, I'm in a music video.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just riding my bike down the street, and I'm like,
yeah, you're in your own life music video. It's like the music video about your life.
Yeah, and I remember once, like, I don't know if do you know the song Nights by Frank Ocean? Yeah. And then you know the transition? I don't know if you like to listen to songs and albums, so right after Nights by Frank Ocean, there's Solo with Andre 3000 and Frank Ocean, so it's like, so right after Nights, I'm on my bike, like, listening to this, and I'm like, see someone, I'm like looking at someone in the eyes by accident while I'm doing it. I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, bye. So yeah, that's me.
Have you followed the ice cream man yesterday or like 2 days ago?
Yesterday, yo, Anna, she doesn't even know time. Like I told her this last night, like less than 12 hours ago, and she's like 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I felt like by the time I saw Mark Cuban and his TikTok and his like lemonade stand, I thought it's been like 2 days. Like, I was just like, oh fuck, this was the same day, except one was like earlier in the day, one was really late at night. So it's like, yeah, I split my days up now, like kind of like the beginning half of the day to like 2 p.m. and then like the next day until 2 p.m. again. I think 2 p.m.
So you have 2 days in one?
Yeah, so like my day splits in kind of like two, but like it's kind of nuts. It's really fun though. And like, cause I have to get stuff done before 2 p.m. and then I can just chill out.
Why
and, like,
2?
And then like wake up and grind again until 2 p.m.
Why 2 p.m. though?
It's the most natural time where like the cutoff fell. I was like, this is it. Like I just gotta stop during this time. It's helped a lot. Just splitting my days up, or like kind of make them into like sections, because time means nothing now. We don't have to wake up to go to school at 8 a.m. We don't have to like wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work. We don't have to commute. Like it's nuts. So like if time means nothing, like what the fuck, I'm gonna reinvent my days.
True.
Yeah, obviously like with a grain of salt, I take that, but like,
yeah, so yesterday, Anna, I always call Anna.
If you haven't checked it out, you should go look at it. Gabby got some trippy photos of an ice cream truck.
I could also insert the recording and be like, I'm gonna follow the ice cream truck, man. I was trying to record it on my phone, the song, because that song bumps.
I'm chasing the ice cream man on a bike for recording the sound.
It's the Mr. Softee set, because I'm like on iTunes, then I'm on like Apple Music, I'm like ice cream truck sound, and it's like, oh, ice cream truck, yeah, ice cream truck vibes, and I'm like, oh, this is not it. And then YouTube had it though. It's like an hour footage of the ice cream truck song.
Shout out to YouTube, our video encyclopedia.
Exactly. I was watching Impulsive with Bella Thorne on it. And one of the questions, because she's like, I'm pansexual. And then they're like, does bestiality count? And she's like, what is that? Like, why are you asking me that question? She's like, what do you think? Like, this morning I had a weird feeling. I woke up and I was like, what is the difference between yesterday waking up and today? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it felt so close to yesterday for some reason for me. I guess Anna didn't have this problem. She's like,
maybe, I don't know.
She wakes up in different dimensions.
I do. Every day. I never get used to it.
Yeah, she never gets used to planet Earth.
Yeah, the times.
Do you have crazy dreams, Anna?
Did I have a crazy dream last night? Let's think.
Like, do you just have crazy dreams? I don't know.
No, they're usually very, like, they kind of seem like visions. They're not really, like, crazy. Like, unless I'm, like, really anxious or, like, a nightmare, then that's, like, my nightmares are fucking nuts. But, when I'm anxious, yeah, they're really, really crazy and distorted. But when it's, like, normal day, everything's fine. They're pretty, like, fantastical. What is it? Like, yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Phantasmic. Yeah, the Phantom. Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom is so hot.
Yeah, very hot. Yeah. Who was your first, like, cartoon crush?
Maybe Danny Phantom, and then like I guess Kim Possible's like evil girl, that girl that's like green or something.
Oh my god! Do you listen to Jack Harlow?
No.
Jack Harlow is like a very famous like rapper. He's just a rapper. One of his lyrics was like, "I got a bad bitch. She looks like Shigo."
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
You gotta listen to the song. You just gotta listen to him. He's like such a vibe. Lyrically, such a strong artist. Yeah, so that was the last time I ever thought about Shigo was Jack Harlow's song.
That's funny.
I think it might be What's Poppin'. I don't know. You should listen to him. You should really listen to him. He's awesome.
I feel like the theme song to Danny Phantom is like, gotta catch 'em all 'cause he's Danny Phantom. It's so, like, whisper, like, gotta catch 'em all 'cause he's Danny Phantom. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I was just, like, mesmerized by that. Oh my gosh, I'm on mute, bro? No, not anymore. Oh, no. Okay. Bro, like, Zoom fucks me up. Like, also, don't let little things in the day affect you. Like, I was gonna let Zoom, starting a meeting in Zoom, like, Anna's like, can you start the meeting? I'm like, bro, I've never done this before.
I know. I just, like, I need to, like, put, like, just like, we were, yeah. I was like, like, do you follow the Gary Vaynerchuk fan page?
No.
The fan page has, like, the fan page is, like, taking snippets of Gary's hour-long stuff into, like, some of the most important things he says. So it's just, like, so much more digestible when it's a 15-minute video instead of an hour-long. As why we have, decided to question these hour-long episodes we're doing and see, like, where our vibes are at. Because that's kind of the two sides that Gary V has been doing.
Yeah, we're our own professor right now. We're making the syllabus. So we're just trying to test out different assignments, you know? We have those hour-long assignments, which are like those 100-question multiple choice tests, I feel like. And then now we're like, all right, this is a little presentation, 15-minute presentation, PowerPoint. I should plug in my art back here, but I'm too lazy for that right now. So don't let those ideas stop you from enjoying the rest of the day. You should intake them and then let it
process them, and then
But if you're doing that while you're interacting with people, you're gonna project some bad vibes. Like, I know, like, if my family tries to talk to me and I'm just like, I'm trying to do my own thing, I'm just like, and then I feel bad, and then after I'm like I'm over what I forgot what I was mad about. I'm like, why did I treat my family like that? Like, I really reflect on how I am with my family, and sometimes you think you want to be this lovable, giving person, but they see you at your most raw moments, so it's hard,
True, yeah. Like, quarantine makes you snap at your family. Like, I've definitely snapped at my mom and dad. But then I'm like, this interaction is not going to it's not going to go end up in a good, positive spot if I just keep talking to them. Like, just got to, like, step away, be like, I'm aggy right now. Like, not a vibe.
Yeah.
So, and knowing when to treat instead of just lashing out on people and, like, I've done my fair share of lashing out because, like, you just get, like Gabby said, they're at your raw. Your family's at your raw. And it's rough. It's rough being also quarantined with people, not having a space that you can, spread your wings. But doesn't mean you gotta lash out. Fam and friends.
Yeah. And I also don't want to, like, run away from my problems. So it's like when I'm feeling that I need time to isolation, and then I can go back and be like, yo, I'm sorry, that was a really bad time for me this morning.
Get on with your day, or get on with what needs to get on.
Yeah, and sometimes, and I always think that we need to talk about everything. I always am the person that's like, we have this problem, let's talk about it. But some people aren't like that. Don't want to talk about every detail of the problem and relive the situation. It's almost like, let's forget about it and move on. So you have to be aware of also what people prefer and how they can process their emotions, because I've gotten in a lot of trouble, like, no, but we need to talk about this. We're both upset. And then I really lost friends from that, from just wanting to talk about things that, like, upset us versus just moving on. Anna, I was, like, just texting her heavy because I'm like, bro, like, I gotta know, like, let's talk about it. But sometimes that's a lot of energy and a lot of sadness for people to relive. So sometimes you just gotta move it on and let it go, let it flow.
Let it go, let it flow.
I actually have a song. Let it go, let it flow.
Nice.
That's the beginning of that's how our intro and midtro started. There's an intro, outro, but no midtro. I feel bad for middle.
I feel mad for middle child again. Actually, yeah, I do.
Like, that was me when I was in kindergarten, when I was, like, learning how to write my name, and I started using the lowercase g, and they're like, Gabby, why did you use the lowercase g? I'm like, I feel so bad. No one ever uses the lowercase g for their, like, I have to write Gabby every day, and I have to use the capital G. I'm, like, feeling bad for inanimate objects. Inanimate things that are not even an object. This is, like, a non-tangible idea, a letter.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of lowercase writing.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of, like, I think the English language is quite interesting. It's like the weirdest. Like, you took the SATs, you took the ACTs. Also, shout out to the kids right now that, like, low key, like, don't have to completely stress out about the SATs because, one, they were canceled in person, and two, they're online now. 3, I hope the test would become somehow more easier for the amount of universities that are going to no longer take SATs and ACTs or make them optional is going to rise through the roof, especially this. So if you take SATs or ACTs, you realize how fucking weird the English language is. And, like, punctuation, tenses, they're so wavy and trippy, and you're like, yo, this is too technical.
You're taking the SAT, I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
I know. I had a tutor, and I told him, I was like, yo, I'm putting the fuck out. I can't do this homework. Like, what the fuck is this language that I'm learning? And he was just like, yeah, like, it's a really fucked up language. And I was like, yeah, it is.
Like, bro, why are you introducing me this junior year of the high school? You know, that's the weirdest part.
I know, right? That's the weirdest part. You're like, what the fuck? And then that's the issue. When you learn a new language, they usually start with that. My 8 years of French schooling was so, like, yo, like, imperfect tense, like, pretense, like, I'm like, yo, like, no one speaks in that language. Like, that's not how you learn languages. You need to hear them, you need to speak them, and then you can go. I guess that makes sense. We learn them once we learn the language, but like when you were speaking about, like, lowercase letters, like in poetry, like, you don't have to use punctuation at all. It just be like free form. I love that. I love free form poetry because it's like, no punctuation, no capitals, like, spaces everywhere. Like, fuck it. Like, this is the way I'm gonna write and say what I want to say.
Yeah, like throwing words on a page and see where it sticks.
Yeah, like, I've never liked poetry with rules. Even though, like, when you take English classes, you know, they're like, this is this type of poetry.
I know, my creative writing class. Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't take my creative writing classes and my English courses throughout college and high school. Like, yeah, it's cool. There's things to appreciate about the structure of certain type of poetry, but sometimes I fucking love just chilling out with words. Like, I think Gabby is also very much like that. Like, Gabby's much more in, like, just making words. Like, if, like, we made up these rules, we can add to that. We can add, and, like, I don't know. I think it's interesting. That was my little rant on the English language. It's so interesting how, in speaking of our last guest, British, people in England, my friend pointed this out to me yesterday. He was like, when British people speak, like, they use a lot of, like, a lot of the plural in replacement of the singular, and it's usually found more at the end of their sentences. I don't know how to explain.
You need to do an example because I don't know what you're talking about.
An example would be like it'd be like telly, or like adding kind of a plural end to a singular, like, I guess, like, noun. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, but, like, I just think, like, the English language, like we speak English, but they speak a different type of English, obviously UK English, but like just to know that languages, like they can derive from like why isn't there one language that's just a mesh of all the languages put together? Like, you know, like if we can take different
gibberish, yeah,
like Spanish, like Gabby speaks Spanish, I speak Spanish, but when we speak to each other, we got some different words going on, and I'm like, yo, Gabby, what the fuck does that mean? And Gabby's like, oh, it means this, and I'm like, oh, I was like,
that's what I speak like almost like a dialect of Spanish. Yeah. So I guess that's what dialects are.
Yeah, and also like I speak Spanish too, so it's like my Spanish is so different from a Dominican's like Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Very different. Like their language is so different. Same goes for like I don't know, like other Southern American countries, and the Spaniards speak different types of Spanish. So like, why isn't there one language? If there could be so many languages derived from one source, why isn't there one language that's just a mesh of all of them put together? Not just Spanish, but like the best of all of it. I guess the best example I can find is like the Philippines.
I think the best example I could find, which is almost working backwards, is Latin, because that's the root. Do you understand? So it's not like it's adding all the languages together. It's almost putting it to the most simple form of language and just having those root and all different languages. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that too. I really like that. Yeah, the root. I'm thinking more like out there, like get it all put into one.
Yeah, like adding it all together.
Like I'm here, you're here. Like
yeah, I'm like finding the most common denominator, and you're like add infinity together and see what you get. That's I feel like you're like literally add all the languages together. I'm like, Anna, bro, do you even know how many languages there are that we don't even know are?
That'd be cool, like a mesh. Not you can't incorporate every single part of the language, but like take like meshes of it. Like that's why I said the best example of it would be the Philippines. Their language, they speak like pan is the same as Spanish, like bread. It's the same thing in the Philippines.
Yeah, I say pa.
Yeah, and so like the Philippines, because they were colonized by the Spanish, but they're I think they're in Asia, so like it like merges cool stuff together, and I think that's what I really like about that language.
I feel that,
like being able to kind of connect to various parts of the world. I think it's interesting.
Well, we're actually really lucky that we didn't have to learn Spanish through all this imperfect verb, blah, 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 grammar, blah. We learned it through the ear and through understanding and through communicating.
I also learned it through the grammar thing.
Well, yeah, I pulled up to 6th grade like, oh, yeah, I speak Spanish. And then I pull up, I'm like, wait, this is not what I've been speaking every year of my life, my grandparents and like my friends in Spain. What is this? Mm-hmm. So I had to learn it through that. You know what I mean? Like people would be like, how do you know this? And it just would sound right to you, right? Like, yes, you would learn it, but then sometimes like, what is it? I said, he said, right? I said, he said. You have to know like which verb goes because it could be similar and things just sound right to me. So I would put it down with no logic of me just being like, it sounds better.
Yeah. I like, fun fact, I wanted to be a linguist when I was in high school. I wanted to like study linguistics in college. And so in high school, I just started taking mad languages. And I pulled up to a Spanish class. I was like, oh, I take Spanish. Like, why not? Let me take like an honors level Spanish class. Like, I could pass the test. You know what I mean? Because I spoke Spanish, you know, and I could hear it. I've been reading it. I've never written it really well, but I could read it. So from there, I could get a lot of the context. And pull up again. Note like everything was thrown out the window. They were doing like pretenses, like presentations only in the subjunctive. And I was like, what? This honors level too. So these kids were like, we're so like, I know what I'm doing. Like, this is it. And I was just like, I'm the native speaker doing the worst in this entire class. Like,
yeah.
Like I also had a really rough French education. I think that's something that has deeply scarred me, and I have yet to deal with it in therapy.
What? Wait, what are you talking about? French education? What are you talking about?
years of learning French like really fucked me up. I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't know, learning the French language was so intense for me. Like I don't know, it's just so much trauma. Like,
bro, I think it's because you had to read Descartes' Meditations in French. Bro, I'm doing this in philosophy class in English, and I'm like, bro, like Anna, this is what is like, this is bugging. He's bugging out, and you're like, yo, I had to do that in French. I'm like, that's where the trauma came from.
Yeah, I've read Descartes. I've read like Simone de Beauvoir. I've met like not met. You hear met? Like I've like fucking. I've read so many French philosophers. Like in college. College was pretty traumatic, but I still think high school and middle school were so traumatic to me. Like I don't know. It's just like it's such a weird education. I don't necessarily think it was good, but it was in some sense. But I hated it, and I don't know why I suffered through 8 years of a language. I guess I still like the language, but it was one of the most traumatizing things. It's just like going to public school education French, and then a college level French. I minored in French and Francophone studies. I don't know if that's
Francophone studies.
Yeah, Francophone countries are all the countries in West Africa that were Francophone. No. They're like Francophone countries, meaning they were once colonized by the French, and they still maintain some type of relationship with them, like diplomatic and political, economic. Usually those countries speak predominantly French, but they are their own independent nations. But there's like a Francophonie like international organization that they're part of, and so that was my minor in college, and shit. That was harder than the fucking econ. Like, learning a language in an education setting is so, like, off from what real life is. Like, cool, though, because your professors are showing you, like, cool parts of the language, and, like, they're cool people, but, I don't know, that's a little rant about the English language going into international languages, and having more access to them. I think that's important.
Rosetta Stone that shit.
Duolingo. Sponsor us, Duolingo. We're linguists. Well, I'm a wannabe linguist. I think Gabby's a real linguist.
Oh, I'm such a wannabe linguist. I minored in cognition, logic, and language.
You never really sat down with me and explained that.
Bro, so I have in my notes, right? I have in my notes, in my notebook, I'm like writing down like me as sophomore, and I'm like, I need a language minor because I'm adding up all the language stuff I have. I have like 3 classes in Spanish, a Latin class, grammar and style, black talk, white talk, storytelling, and then it's like psychology, and I'm like, what is this? You know, what can I do with this? I have so many linguistics and languages. What do I do? And then I'm going through the database of our school, and it of everyone who's a philosophy major. And I see someone is the minor of cognition, logic, and language. I'm like, what? Does this exist? What do you mean? What? What does this exist? So I'm like, I need to take this, and I need to find the head of cognition, logic, and language. And I literally like scrap up every class I have. And they're like, hey, like we actually took this away the sophomore year that you were here, but you're actually grandmothered in because you came here freshman year. So I just thought it was the coolest thing. And I basically fought my way to get that major. So they're like, you need one more philosophy class about like metaphysics. I'm like, bro, I took that's my major. I have 11 philosophy classes. You're telling me to take another philosophy class? Wait, I've never taken a logic class. Isn't it logic that I have to take logic to get cognition, logic, and language? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. All right, sign up for that. So I made this whole petition. I'm like, it's only logic if I take logic. And I actually got a D, so they didn't even count it. So I technically don't have that minor, but I have all the education in the classes in my mind to say I have that minor. So that's me. Don't let schools tell you, like credentials and stuff, just because you didn't get this credential, this minor, this major. But let's say you're like, oh, I was one class away. This is just their rules that they randomly made up. You know what I mean? Right? This is just the rules that the person's like, all right, this looks good, let's put it together. But you really have to look at the leverage in every situation. Be like, hey, I took all these classes and my D wasn't good enough for me to get this on my degree, another minor. You know what? But I still suffered through the class. I still did all the homework, and like, all right, my grades weren't the best, but I think I still have some logic knowledge inside me. I don't think
100%. That's kind of how the concept of I give a huge shout out to our professor, Craig Talmadge. Not our professor, but our professor. Bouncing off of what Gabby said, like. And Craig Talmadge was sitting. I never took a class with Craig Talmadge. Never had an entrepreneurial studies minor. Like, I only interacted with entrepreneurial studies through either my friends that were in the program or the Bazzuto Center, where I would literally sleep for like weeks during finals week and like live there essentially.
It's our idea incubation lab, if no one knows what Bazzuto Center is.
It was off campus. I would sleep there. I would do my homework there. I lived. It was like my safe haven away from school. My spring senior year. And Craig Talmadge, I would like only spend time with him again. Entrepreneurial studies had nothing to do with it, but I would just come into Craig Talmadge's office all the time, and we would just like shoot the shit, and we just had a great time. And like I would ask him, be like, yo, like what are the business models you give to your students? Like I would like that because I really want to have a business one day, but like I don't have entrepreneurial studies like education under my belt. Like how, like, can you give me some resources if it's possible? And so he did, and like we would just talk. He was a big fan of the Martini magazine publication. Like big shout out to them if you're an HWS student, alumni, X, Y, and Z. Like if you're listening, you know, if you're out there in the world one day hearing this, like I don't know where I was going with that, but
I think you're going that we're going to be the next Bazzuto.
Yeah, that's also true. So please, Craig Talmadge, excuse me, my thought of consciousness is pretty distorted during this retrograde, but Craig Talmadge would have me in his office all the time. And then one day I was telling him like, oh, I'm graduating in like 2 months or like a month. I'm like kind of freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do. Like I wanted to pursue music, but I had no idea in what capacity I wanted to do so. And he was just like, I'm going to add you to the entrepreneurial studies group. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you're not a student, but you basically are. And I was just like, okay. And so like, if you go on LinkedIn, I'm part of like the HWS entrepreneurial studies alumni. Like what? She has that minor on her title. I don't have that minor, but I'm in the alumni group. It's just like, it's like the concept of like these groups, these like divisions of education and these like requirements, these titles, like, nah, we got to start giving ourselves much more credit.
Yeah.
And these schools want to.
Yo, we're CEO of Streamer Consciousness. Like, we're CEOs.
So that entrepreneurial studies, like, vibe was still enough. It's still, like, it's great. And so I think you remind yourself of that. Like, take the classes you want to take. And, like, they work out to something. They work out to something. Won't work out, just know like, yo, I can stand my ground, and these specific things of like these specific types in these specific fields of study, I'm smart. I can do this. I'm much more well-rounded in my intellect than I think I am, or told I was.
No, it's exactly, and it's awesome how he saw the entrepreneurial spirit inside of you. A lot of people grow up with the spirit in them, but that's a spirit that you have to have inside of you, a persistence. And they're like, the number one thing, they're like, 99% of entrepreneurs fail. And you have to be like, you know what? I don't care. I still want to do my idea. So it's all about the spirit and the follow through. And then, yeah, you can learn the stuff on paper. You can learn how to do finances. You can learn how to do a PowerPoint. You can learn how to market. But a lot of the stuff, 50% of it comes from the inside.
Yeah, like econ, like what did econ taught me? It taught me a lot of stuff, not gonna lie, but it taught me specifically only in the realm of economics. Like it would not branch out into other parts. There was only one class I took my entire minor that allowed me to branch out of that.
Well, it gave me the confidence to say, yeah, just because I'm a student, it doesn't mean I can't start a business. Like I started a business sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
Myself. I was doing it all. I was doing, like, I started a cleaning business, pulling up. I would just mark it on Facebook. I got made fun of when I would go to the bars. They'd be like, oh, you want to clean my room? Like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I do actually. You want to pay me? You know, like, yes, you're going to be made fun of if you take a leap of faith and you have these random ideas. And entrepreneurship in that spirit makes you think, wait, I could follow through. I can do this. Everyone else is scared to do this, but every freshman, every sophomore, everyone has messy ass rooms and it smells and we live in our rooms and we need to make sure it's clean and we could have our mind straight and our environment or setting straight. I will do it for them then. And if I get paid.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Entrepreneurial, the spirit of it.
It's kind of nice having our improv podcast right now, this episode, how we're just shooting the shits, and I think that's another word for improv. Yes, we had ideas that we want to talk about, but this is the least thought out podcast we had, and I think this is the most genuine and least nervous we've been. Like, I feel like Anna like got pulled out of her shell.
Yeah, I was really anxious. It's so different. You're not used to this stuff. It's a learning process. Chill out. Make sure you can get that minor. You can get that major. You are capable. Like, everyone is capable of doing something great.
Yeah. That is the word of the day. I really hope you enjoy that.
People have that flame. Gotta go find it and do it.
Yeah. Fire, flame, fire, flame, spit out.